Welcome, everybody. So real quick, before I pass it over to Victoria, I just want to share something with you guys real quick. So this is exactly what we're going to be talking about today is how they went from 0 to 6 figures. Many of them, you guys, you're going to hear about how they mastered that 2-hour workday, what they did in their 2 hours. You're going to hear about their proven strategies, and you're going to hear this again from the top digital marketers inside our community. But real quick, I need you to screenshot this because we are not giving you any income claims. We're not saying you can do what we've done. We're just going to share with you what we have done and the benefits it's done for us. So what I want to do is I just want to pass it over, you guys, to Victoria real quick here. You guys, this is really fun because Victoria is actually moving right now. And because of her success in digital marketing is why she could afford to buy a home. So Victoria, I'll just let you take it away, my friend.
Thank you. Yes, like literally when Michelle says moving, I mean we have the movers there. I don't know if you guys can see this, but they are like moving our stuff right now. So that's why I'm in the car because it's just boxes and chaos inside the house. But yes, so my name is Victoria. I'm a busy boy mama. Okay, I've got 3 little boys. 2 of them are special needs. One is a tiny tot tornado. My husband's active duty army, and praise the Lord, he was able to come home and like help with this. So I'm not doing it all alone. But I was the mama that always wanted to find a way to work from home so that I could make a really good income, stay home, and raise my kids, right? And I tried all the things. I tried affiliate marketing. I tried like those emails, like the click emails. But I did MLM, multi-level marketing, for 7 years. Tell me in the comments who has ever done any kind of network marketing. Just say me if this is you, because if so, you probably understand the amount of work that went into that, right? So I was glued to my phone doing all of the cold messaging, those like copy paste, hey girl messages, the parties, the follow-ups, the recruiting, all to try to make a small fraction of somebody else's dream, right? So I was making 25 to 50% of somebody else's company, not of their company. Wow, that would be amazing. But of my own sales. And so I did that for 7 years, and I thought that that was the only way that I could work from home and still be with my kids. But in reality, I was with my kids, but I wasn't present. I was glued to my phone doing all those things. Okay. And so then I started to have my own online boutique because I wanted to have my own thing where I was making 100% profit. What happened for me was I wanted to get so far away from social media, which was why I did my own online boutique, right? But I still was not making a significant income that I could live off of. And so I was still on social media, and I saw this girl talking about how she made 40 grand in 2 months doing this digital marketing thing. And I immediately went, that sounds too good to be true. There's no way that's real because I've done network marketing for so long and I know how much work went into that, you know? And so I'm like, no, this 2-hour workday, there's no way this is real. And it's because society says you need to work more to make more. You know what I mean? And so I just kind of started digging in and I started listening and my curiosity started piquing. And I was in a position where this was a Hail Mary for us. I had not made a sale in my online boutique for 6 weeks. And I said, something's got to give. We need to make something happen. And so I dove in, and I know myself, I have a CEO mentality, right? And I'm like, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make $1,200 a month, y'all. I went into this $1,200 a month was my goal. In my first month, I made $29,000, which is more than I've ever made in a year. By 5 months, I hit my first 6 figures. And now, oh my gosh, Michelle, I didn't tell you this. I'm 2 sales away from 400 grand. I'm like right there. And it's crazy because this summer, I've been so unplugged because we've had to move and my kids are home. I just wanted to be present. And this summer alone, while the kids were out of school, I made 75 grand, you guys. Well, I've like just kind of like hardly worked because I've learned the 2-hour process. So this is what I love so much about this program. Okay. the thing with legacy builders is it is Barney style, broken down for you step by step, where we're giving you videos every single day saying, do this on day 1, this on day 2, this on day 3, like walking you through how to start to generate a 6-figure income. You just need to have the will and the coachability and the commitment to be able to do it, because the people that are committed and are coachable, they're seeing massive success. And the other thing that I love about this is you are never alone here, because you are literally being mentored by 6- and 7-figure income earners. I relate this all the time to how many of you have ever like had to go to a job and you sit down to do your training in front of a computer, right? And so it's just like these video trainings, whereas I personally, I'm very much a hands-on person, right? And so if I have a mentor, like if the CEO of the company comes and tells me how to do my job, I'm going to learn a lot better that way than like just staring at a screen. That is the kind of mentorship that you are getting here from 6- and 7-figure income earners, teaching you how they have made that kind of income. So if you are coachable and if you are committed and able to be consistent and follow a proven process, it's proven for a reason, y'all. And this can take you from 0 to hero. Like, it has literally transformed my entire life. And yeah, we're buying, like, we're moving down to a brand new construction house that we just built on a private, like, in a golf community, y'all. Like, whose life am I living? It's crazy. So yeah, that's my little story.
Oh, I love that so much. So real quick, before you go back to moving, if you could give one piece of advice to people that have never launched into the digital space, what would that one piece of advice be for them?
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you asked this, because, and I think like so many people, especially if they had an MLM background, right? The people that have never done that, they think that anybody that is successful here comes from any kind of network marketing because they had that kind of experience. And so the biggest piece of advice that I could give anybody is plug into the training, because we have so many people who have started at 0. And so for me, even though I had that MLM background, I did everything on Facebook, but I personally wanted to learn how to market on TikTok. And so I left that following behind and I started a brand new account at 0, and I followed the training to make my 6-figure income on TikTok. So my best piece of advice is just plug in, because you have all the tools and all the resources right at your fingertips. You just have to learn the marketing strategies to be able to make an income.
So good. Yes. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing, and congratulations and 400K. Isn't that awesome? Oh my goodness. I love that. Yeah. So Daryl, you are up next now. We're going to just pass it right over to Daryl. But Victoria, have fun moving. You guys, Daryl just posted in the community that he's so close to 200K. And that is from this year, you guys. How does that feel to even say that?
It's surreal, like literally, like, I mean, and the crazy part about it, like, I was actually I have a really nice park right up the street from me. So I was actually doing my content this morning. So I hadn't even checked anything. And I was just going through everything, and I realized that it was one that came in like 2 hours ago. And I was just like, man, this is, I mean, but just the fact of just being right there is, again, it's just a surreal moment, really, when I look back at where I come from and just what happened last year. But guys, if y'all don't know who I'm Daryl Hannah, man. I'm just so hyped up, man. Hearing Victoria say she made 400K in 1 year is just, man, it's just mind blowing. But it's so inspiring, you know, because that's the power of this. Because when I first started this program, I had seen someone said something about how they made like $600 working 2 hours a day. This was back here on January the 13th, and you know, I reached out to them and got some information, and I saw this, watched the video. And they were talking about this community. I was asking questions, and make a long story short, I got plugged in. So I started on January the 15th. But before that, I want to give you guys a quick rundown of my background. So, guys, I used to work in the automotive industry for over 20 years, welding, automotive industry overall for about 22 years, welding all together 20 years, one's job for 14. 6, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, 105, 10 degrees in there, guys. I'm talking about losing weight like a cancer patient. I'm talking about just stress, broke, figuring out which bill I need to pay this week. Me and my wife used to sit down and determine which bill that we had to pay because we just weren't able to pay both of them. That's just how it was. And so, guys, I gave that job everything. I'm talking about I was a real company man. I was a 3-time employee of the month. I just gave a job everything. You know, that's all I knew was welding. And so they come in on a regular Tuesday. I'm at work on my line. I was a head welder over 6 people. They called me to the office, my lead and supervisor, and they had their arms crossed like this. So I knew I wasn't in them to get a pay raise. I definitely knew that. So they just told me they were going into another direction and my department was leaving. Now, I want you guys to understand something. You figure if you've been at a job almost 20 years that you used to have seniority, that means that back in the day when you had seniority and something like this happened, they would let the people on the bottom go, temporary, or someone who's been there a couple of months. But now when you have seniority and they're cutting back, if you're at the top of the chain making the most money, you're going to be the one to get the axe because they rather train somebody and pay them little to no money. So that was me. I was unexpendable. And so they basically had to let me go. And so 3 hours after work, I caught myself in my car crying outside the gate, just trying to figure out what was going on because I didn't have any reason to think that they would let me go. I was one of the top earners there at that plant. And so I'm just in my car figuring it out. And so because of that decision, guys, I got separated. I caught myself homeless and staying in a men's Christian homeless shelter because of that, because it caught me at a bad time. No money, no emergency fund, no money in the bank. I was expecting to work that whole week because I needed that money to pay for some other bills, which that didn't happen. So I was counting checks that I hadn't even made yet. And so while I was crying and I realized this, I just told myself I just didn't want to give a job all of that time, sweat, blood, and energy. All those pats on the back I got, it really didn't mean anything. All those numbers I ran, those rates, it didn't mean anything because they just threw me out like trash. Pick up out here on Friday morning. So after that, I came into the online space, man. I knew people were making money. I just didn't know anything about it, but I knew people were making money. I came online. I did a couple things, guys. And then that's when I stumbled upon digital marketing and I seen that post and asked about the program. So and it's funny because tomorrow makes my 8th month since I joined this program, because I joined on January the 15th. And guys, I'm going to tell you something right here. I'm just an old country boy from a small town of about 600. I was raised by a single parent with 13 kids in a little shotgun house. And I'm telling you, you don't have to come from money. It ain't where you're at. It's all about just where you want to go, what you want to do with your life. My mom didn't have the resources that I had access to. I joined this program, and one of the things I love best was the community. I've been a part of Facebook groups. It was nothing. The community was phenomenal. I just got plugged in, went through the training. And I knew I was on to something because I started with the copy and paste method, which is part of the 2-hour workday. But my first 2 weeks, so from January the 15th to January 31st, I made $5,000. And I had never made that working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, trading my time for money as a welder. And so make a long story short, guys, 8 months in, I'm like basically one commission away from $200,000. I hit my first 100K. And you got to think, when I joined this program, I was just like, you know what? I came in, like I was watching everybody were making them. I was like, man, this is unreal. I said, so my goal is to make 6 figures by the end of December. I gave myself a whole year, but I made 6 figures in 3.5 months, a little bit under 4 months. And that's because I didn't understand the power of social media and digital marketing. I didn't realize it was $1 billion day. And my mind couldn't grasp that. And so, guys, since then, I have just been following this blueprint. I haven't been reinventing the wheel. I've been staying plugged into the trainings. I have mastered this thing called a 2-hour workday, which is very, very important. And I tell you what, the fact that I'm like this close to being a multiple 6-figure income earner in under a year is almost surreal. But you know what, Michelle, I want to share this with you guys. This program is absolutely phenomenal. The skills that I've learned, guys, the training, the community, the support, just everything is so strategically put together. There's no gray areas, guys. It's just white and black. Like